All right, good day. One of the problems that we normally encounter in mathematics is how to find square root of numbers. So in today's class, I'm going to be taking my time to explain how to find the square root of number. So first and foremost, what is square root? All right, so let's start with the symbol. Let's start with the symbol for square root. The symbol for square root is usually like this. When you see anything like this, it means what? Square root. And some also call it second root. You can also call it what? Second root. So anywhere you see this symbol, just know that it means square root or it means second root. All right, so before we proceed, what are the other things that you need to know about square roots? You need to know that when you are asked to find the square root of a certain number, the answer is that you are going to look for a number that you are going to multiply by itself such that it will still give you that particular number. Then you will now pick one of the numbers. That is the square root of that particular number that you are to find the square root. All right, so let's go back and understand and solve this question on the board. So here we have square root of 9 times 16. So all right, so what you're going to do here is that you are going to split this one into two. You're going to have square root of 9, then multiply by what? Square root of 16. Because both 9 and 16, they are inside one square root. So what you need to do is that you split them into two. Do you understand? Then you now ask yourself, what are the two numbers that you multiply together? The same number that you must get 9. And that's what? 3. So you have 3. So 3 multiplied by 3, you will get 9. Don't forget, the two numbers must be the same. So what are the two numbers that I will multiply together that will get 16? That's 4 and 4. So it means that the square root of 16 is what? 4. And the square root of 9 is what? 3. So that's just the simple illustration, right? All right, so this becomes, like I said, you're going to split into two. That is square root of 9 times square root of 16. Okay, so we'll now say, now what are the two numbers that I'm going to multiply that will give me 9? That is 3 and 3. What about 16? That's what? 4 and 4. So what you just need to do is you now say square root of 9 is equals to square root of, that is 3 times 3. Then everything times square root of 4 times 4. And I told you that you're going to pick just one. So if you pick only one, you're going to get 3 here. Then if you pick only one, you're going to get what? 4. You must always pick one. That's why the two numbers must be the same thing. So that means that the square root of 9 multiplied by 16, the square root is what? 12. That's all. Thank you. Bye.